What's up, YouTube? Simus here. Now, here is my throwback segment where I talk about the films that turns 10, 20, and 30. Alright, the films celebrating their 10th anniversary. Oh boy, we got Ridley Scott's The Counselor. I remember when this came out. The Counselor, which is also based on a book by Cormac McCarthy, starring the likes of Michael Fassbender, Brad Pitt, Cameron Diaz, Javier Bardem, Penelope Cruz, and the film also deals with themes such as greed, morality, love, uh, and the extremely violent and bloodthirsty activities of drug cartels, and depicted as the counselor, a high level lawyer, gets involved in a drug deal around the troubled Ciudad Juarez, Mexico terrorist border. I don't remember when this was gonna come out. Like when the trailer hit, I was like, this has Oscars written all over. You got Michael Fassbender, you got Brad Pitt, Cameron Diaz. You got some great talents on board with us. So I was like, yeah, this could maybe be one of Ridley Scott's best work. Oh boy, I was wrong. This movie was awful. I'm like, how Ridley Scott's The Martian was, I guess, the movie that really brought Ridley Scott back, because he also did that Exodus movie a year after. But yeah, this was god awful. I mean, come on, Cameron Diaz. Probably one of the only memorable part is Cameron Diaz on the car. Not going into details, but if you've seen The Counselor, you know what scene I'm talking about. Yeah, it's just not. It was completely boring. It did not really make much sense. I mean, there's been some other good Cormac McCarthy adaptations before. Some other ones I could think of: No Country for Old Men, The Road. But this is maybe the worst adaptation there is. So, yeah, this was not so good. All right. Also turning 10, we got Bad Jackass Presents Bad Grandpa, which is a hidden camera comedy film from Jackass director Jeff Tremont, starring Johnny Knoxville. Here, playing the grandfather. Is It has a loose narrative that connects the stunts and pranks together. In a master reminiscence of Borat, as opposed to the three original Jackass films. This movie has made my favorite out of the Jackass franchise. I mean, the last one, Jackass Forever, I think that was good. But if I had to pick the best out of the franchise, it has got to be Bad Grandpa. I remember watching this one in theaters. I had a blast with it. Seeing Johnny Knoxville, which, by the way, I kid you not, it actually got an Oscar nomination for Best Makeup. Because, of course, Johnny Knoxville pretty much plays an older guy. So, obviously, they put some heavy makeup there. This is hilarious. There is lots of fun moments in this. Johnny Knoxville chemistry with the kid, Jackson. I think the actor's name is Jackson Nichol. He also worked with Johnny Knoxville at Fun Size that came out a year prior, like a year before this. He doesn't really do anything anymore. But his chemistry with Johnny Knoxville in this was hilarious. I mean, this has some really fun moments in it. Definitely brought the Jackass element perfectly. I had a fun time with this. If you guys never seen Bad Grandpa, do yourself a favor, go watch it. It's definitely the best here. Now we're also turning 10. Blue is the warmest color. Yeah, now this of course stars Leah Sedokes as well as, I can never pronounce her last name. Adele Axartopoulos. She was just in Passages recent. And the film follows Adele, who's played by Adele, not that singer, but Adele Axartopoulos, a French teenager who discovers desire and freedom as an aspiring painter. Emma, played by Sedokes, enters her life. It depicts the relationship from Adele's high school years to her early adult life and career as a school teacher. The film premise was based on the 2010 graphic novel of the same name. Let me just say this movie really brought the filthy big time. I'm not going to go into details, but if you've seen Blues Color. This movie's mostly got praise for I'm trying to know how to say this. Make it appropriate. For that scene. If you guys seen Blues of Warmest Color, you know what that scene I'm talking about. Between Adele and Leah Zos's character together. So yeah, of course this is a really decent film that really depicts the LGBT community perfectly. Despite that scene I'm talking about, the kid between Adele and Lacey Stokes were pretty decent. It was really interesting, like Leah playing this role because she nowadays when you think of her, she's mostly been in lots of action packed stuff. Like she's supposed to be in the upcoming Dune sequel. She was in like one of the Mission Possible movies. She was in the last two Bond movie, so it's really cool to see her, playing a role like this. And yeah, you pretty much seen a lot of them in this film. So if you guys never seen Blues Warmest Color, I say give it a go. You might enjoy it, or hey, it might be too filthy for some people, but yeah. All right. Now, lots of stuff turning 20 this week. First up, we got Scary Movie 3, which of course was the third installment of the Scary Movie franchise, which starred Anna Faris reprising a role as Cindy Campbell, who's now a newspaper reporter who accidentally watches a strange videotape that causes the viewer to die within 7 days. She discovers the tape is only one of mainly weird happenings. You of course got local farmers Tom, played by Charlie Sheen, and George, played by Simon Rex, who, by the way, believe it or not, Simon Rex actually, I kid you not, he actually subscribed to my YouTube channel, which I thought was pretty cool. There, I love Simon Rex. He was of course in one of my favorite movies, 2021, Red Rocket, Scary Movie 3. He has a really cool YouTube channel too. Like I like some of his podcasts he puts out. Simon Rex is always great. So anyway, uh, as I was saying, Tom and George have reported massive crops circus appearing overnight in their field. And of course, you have the great Leslie Nielsen as U.S. president, as a U.S. president, with Queen Latifah playing an aunt here. You also had You also had like Anthony Anderson, Kevin Hart, Regina Hall, Pamela Anderson, Jenny McCarthy, Eddie Griffin pops up in this. Simon Cowell, cameos by Macy Gray, Redman, Method Man, Fat Joe. Ja Rule was also in this. The last two Scary Movie movies weren't great, but I still enjoy them. That last best installment was Scary Movie 3. I love this one. It has some really fun moments in it, like the rap battle between Simon Rex and Fat Joe. The scene where like Charlie Sheen is having a fight with Michael Jackson. This also is a spoof of other horror stuff like Signs, The Rings, 8 Mile, the others, which of course was the parody with Charlie Sheen and Michael Jackson. Which, man, if you guys have not seen that clip, do yourself a favor. It's actually on YouTube. If you don't want to watch the whole movie, watch some of the clips. The scene with Charlie Sheen facing Michael Jackson cracks me up all the time. Probably one of my favorite Charlie Sheen roles. Of course, Simon Rex was great in this. I just adore this film. I had a fun time with it. It was really entertaining. Some fun moments. I mean, Leslie Nielsen as a U.S. president was the greatest casting they put out. I just love Leslie Nielsen in this. Of course, he had some airplane references, which is perfect there. This is actually from the same people who gave us Airplanes, because Keenen Ivory Wayans did not come back to direct. But yeah, Scary Movie 3 is hands down terrific. I just always had a fun time with this. If you guys never seen it, it's on HBO Max or Max, I should say. Give it a go. It is a really fun one. All right, also turning 10, we got Radio. Now, last week, of course, I talked about Rudy. And so now this time we got Radio, which, of course, is in my top 3 favorite football movies of all time. I just like Radio. It, of course, had Cuba Gooding Jr., Ed Harris, Alfred Woodard. if you guys don't know much about the story here, the movie is based on a true story of T.O. Hanna high school football coach Harold Jones, played by Ed Harris, and a young man with a disability, James Robert Rayo Kenny, played by Cuba Gooding Jr. You also had Deborah Winger was in this, and I really enjoyed this movie. It is a really terrific watch. Cuba Gooding Jr. that year he did not have the best year. I mean, even this movie did not get great reviews. But of all the movies Cuba did that year, this may be one of the better ones I've enjoyed. Of course, that same year he did that movie with Beyonce, The Fighting Temptations. He also did Boat Trip. I think Snowdoors came out a year before, but it's safe to say his career has not really had a steady, has been steady lately either, for obvious reasons. But Cuba Gooding Jr. was still really decent. I mean, this is probably not a role he could really pull off today, though, because lots of people. This is probably a role that, just like this and Rayman, lots of people would not feel comfortable with Cuba Gooding Jr. playing a role like this. But I still thought Cuba really nailed it. His chemistry with Ed Harris is great. This is definitely one of my favorite football films there is. It's a really good one. Though, if you guys never seen Radio, definitely give it a go. All right, also turning 10, we got Disney's Brother Bear, which features the voice talents of Joaquin Phoenix, Rick Moranis, Dave Thomas, D.B. Sweeney. Brother Bear follows an Alaskan native boy named Kenna as he pursues a bear and kills it, but the spirit, incensed by this unnecessary death, changes Kenna into a bear himself, and as punishment, in order to be human again, Kenna must travel to the mountain where the northern lights touch the earth. I could say this is like Lion King, but with bears. I really like Brother Bear. It's not really like the top tier best Disney movies, nothing like that, but I always adored it. It was also cool seeing on that Once Upon a Studio thing that they interpret some of the Brother Bear characters, which I was cool. You had Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas both voicing mooses in this. That was cool here. They actually also returned for part two, which I believe Brother Bear 2 was actually the last movie Rick Moranis ever starred in. Uh, Brother Bear 2 wasn't all that great, to be honest, yeah. But the first Brother Bear is terrific. Definitely has some decent music. I mean, it's nowhere near as good as, like, let's say, The Lion King or, Aladdin, nothing like that. But it's still a really decent one worth checking out. So if you guys never seen it, it's on Disney Plus. Give that one a go. All right. Now, we also got some small stuff turning 20 as well. First up, we got In the Cut, which is directed by Jane Campion, who of course will go on to direct. Who also did like the the piano. She also recently won an Oscar for what was that Western movie she did with Benedict Cumberbatch? Dang it. What's it called? Power of the Dog. That's what it's called. She of course did that. She's done some really decent stuff too. Now this also starred the likes of Jennifer Jason Leigh, Meg Ryan, Mark Ruffalo was in this, Kevin Bacon, and it's based on a novel of the same name and focuses on an English teacher who becomes personally entangled with a detective investigating a series of gruesome murders in her Manhattan neighborhood. And In the Cut is a really interesting flick. Jane Campion did a really decent job directing. Meg Ryan, a very different role for Meg Ryan, because whenever you think of Meg Ryan, you always think of like romantic comedies and everything. So seeing her do like a serious role like this was very interesting at the time. Jennifer Jason Leigh is always great. Mark Ruffalo is terrific. Really decent film if you guys haven't seen it. All right. Also, 2020, we got The Singing Detective, which is a musical crime comedy directed by Keith Gordon and features the likes of Robert Downey Jr., Katie Holmes, Adrian Brody, Robin Wright Penn, at the time, Robert Wright Penn, Mel Gibson, Jeremy Northam, Carl Gugino, and it features numerous songs from the 1950s, plunged by paranoia, a troubled skin condition, crime novelist Dan Dark imagines himself amongst murders and moles as the hero of his own Pulp Fiction. And it's a really decent film. The performances by the cast was great. Robert Downey Jr. was really good in that. So if you guys ever seen it, give that one a go. There's also Beyond Borders, directed by Mark Campbell, who gave us like Green Lantern, The Foreigner, one of the Bond movies as well. I believe he did GoldenEye. It stars Angelina Jolie, Clive Owen, and Antonio Banderas. Oh no, not Antonio Banderas. Terry Polo, Katie. I don't know Antonio was in this, but anyway. It's about American socialite played by Angelina Jolie living in London joins the renegade doctors played by Clive Owen humanitarian effort in war-torn nations. And this is actually not so good to be honest. I like Clive Owen. Angelina Jolie is always great, but this was pretty boring. Did not really do much for me. Definitely not Mark Campbell's best. So yeah, I mean probably Green Lantern's not his best either. But anyway. Also turning 20, we got the 2003 psychological drama Elephant, directed by Gus Van Sant, who is best known for directing Good Will Hunting. He also put out the Psycho remake. And here's what the film is about. It takes place in Walt High School, um, and in the suburbs of Portland, Oregon, and chronicles the events surrounding a school shooting. It is actually based in part on the 1999's Columbine High School Massacre. The film begins a short time before the shooting occurs, following the lives of several characters both in and out of school who are unaware of what is about to unfold. The film actually starred non-professional actors like John Robinson and Alex Frost. Now, Alex Frost, you might not recognize the name, but he actually played a bully in this, and he also would go on to play a bully in that really fun. He played the lead bully. I think his name was Filkins in that really underrated Owen Wilson comedy, Joe Bit Taylor, that came out a couple years prior. And he was really great in this. John Robinson was great. Gus Van Sant directing this was intriguing. This got really very intense here. The performances is great. If you guys have not seen Elephant, it is a hard watch, especially since it is inspired by the Columbine massacre that happened in '99. But it is a really intriguing film. I believe worth giving it a go. So if you guys haven't seen it, definitely give it a watch. Give it a watch. All right. Also now turning 30. Not only that turns 30 this week. We just got Supercop 2, directed by Stanley Tong, starring Michelle Yeoh. Um, it is a spin-off of Jackie Chan's police story film series involving the character Yeoh, played and portrayed in Supercop. Although Jackie Chan only has a cameo appearance in the film, uh, some cover DVD covers prominently feature Chan, misleading audiences into thinking he is the main character. Uh, so, so yeah, I mean, yeah. Hey, if they found that, if whoever was interesting Super Cop 2 and they not knew that, they'll probably pull like a yesterday and sue the company. I guess I don't know. While Super Cop 2 isn't as good as Police Story or anything, it was pretty fun. Of course, you had Michelle Yeoh, who obviously go on to win her first ever Oscar for Everything Everywhere. She was awesome in this. I mean, it's a really fun, entertaining one. It's not as like good as like the police story movies, but it is still really fun. Michelle Yeoh really like her martial arts stuff is impacting. It's terrific to watch. So yeah, definitely give that one a go. We also got Me and the Kid, which is a couple of ex-cons. Harry played by Danny Aiello and Roy played by Joe Pantoliano. Um, Also known as Joey No Pants here. Which was also cool seeing him playing himself in Chucky last year. But anyway, break into a home expecting to find 250,000 in a safe, but come away empty-handed. They do, however, take a 8-year-old Gary, played by Alex Zuckerman, with them, hoping that the boy's father will pay the ransom. And this was pretty terrible. I mean, it was pretty much like I don't know. They end up having like a chemistry with the kid. It's really weird. I mean, it feels like let's say a weird ripoff of Home Alone. Like, yeah, it's just not that great film. I like Danny Aiello, R.I.P. Joe Pantoliano is always great, but yeah, this just wasn't so great at all. So yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it there. Let me leave you guys. Which of these films stand out to you the most? To me, the 10-year one is gonna be Bad Grandpa. The 20-year one is gonna be Scary Movie 3, and Super Cop 2 will be the 30-year one. Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Simmer signing off.